well, we don't want to speculate on this. We don't want a media trial on this. It's something that's very precarious. It's something that has to be dealt with in a certain way. When we're talking about a case like this, we've seen that when in his clarification, he has stated that this is an outhouse. He has denied all of those charges. He has refuted the claim, saying that only the people who had access to these rooms were his family members or the gardeners or the staff. And his alibi also states, he stated that he went to Bhopal. He was not, he came to his house in the evening of the 15th March. It took so long. It has happened on the 15th, and it's currently 23rd that we're talking about this. It has taken so long for this to come to light. What do you think is important, the probe and the testimony that are important in this case?
I think the point here is very simple, ma'am. First of all, you see, if there's take example. If there is cash recovered from my farmhouse, I don't have one, I'm just saying. If there's so then I can say I don't live in my farmhouse, my chokidar, my mali, everybody has access to the house. So how do the cash doesn't belong to me? If cash is recovered from my office, I'll say my chaprasi has the chabi, and the Gorkha has the chabi. It's not mine. If cash is recovered from my gaadi, I'll say driver has the chabi. मेरे पास गाड़ी की चाबी थोड़ी ना रहती है. The cash. So by this way you can always come up with a story and make mockery of the law. Sorry to use this word, make mockery of the law, and by giving these statements you are bringing down the trust of the judicial quotient in the country, which is very unfortunate for a senior justice like Verma ji to do it. You should not have done it. He had always a choice. I'll talk to the appropriate authorities. By giving these statements, you're just trying to use those Bollywood kind of arguments to kind of get away from this. By this virtue, unless and until you find cash in my pocket, the cash doesn't belong to me. And my pockets cannot hold 15 crores of cash. I don't think there's any pocket in the world which can hold this amount of cash. So I must have to have a special trust to hold this. So coming to the facts of it, it is very important. We know what it has happened. It has exposed underbelly of something which might be possible, which might be present in the system for quite some time. Now the onus is, look, you cannot have this friendly inquiry. You cannot have this in-house inquiry. What is in-house inquiry? It's like, okay, I'll investigate you, you investigate me, you scratch my back, I scratch you, we'll see how it goes. Now, there is a set judicial precedence for such things to happen. Why is an honorable judge different from a citizen like you and me? Whatever will happen to a common citizen of India, why the same procedure and the practice cannot be, practiced for the honorable judge? Why there is this kid gloves approach? Unless and until you come out and say everybody is equal in front of the law. If there's things like, if CBI has to be involved, if income tax has to be involved, if ED has to be involved, if NIA, whichever needs to be involved, let them inquire, let them come up with a report, and let that report be filed in the courts, and in courts will handle it as a normal case. It doesn't matter who you are. If politicians are sent to jail, if government officials are sent to the jail, if people from corporate sector, all walks of life have gone to the jail and have got the most harshest of punishments. Why we are still trying to say, okay, let's do in-house inquiry, let's try to find out what happens. The quantum of money what we are talking here is quite high, and the country and the nation of 1.4 billion is watching and looking at you. And there's a time we can explain the procedures to all the people, but beyond the time, it will be the tip, it will cross the tipping point. We won't be able to explain everybody what is happening, because if this notion starts setting in, there's a different set of law which applies on the powerful, and there's a different set of the law which applies on the janta. Now that will be a different, conundrum to handle. And if it becomes a political issue, then don't blame tomorrow the government of the day if they want to come and change the things with the powers that have been given to them by the Constitution. There's a possibility of doing that. So the onus is here. When this incident or accident has happened, whatever it is, now the onus is here to make sure that a fair thing happens as to the every and the last man standing in India. Secondly, this case is settled at the, this should be settled and decided in 2 months, 1 month, 45 days to set an example to the people. Third thing, make laws, work with the government, make such provisions. If there is one rotten apple in the lot, the whole lot doesn't look rotten. It doesn't, it does not cast aspersions on the whole, and everybody is not casted, painted black. So make sure such provisions happen. But if you are trying to, kind of having this kid gloves approach, unfortunately, you're not helping one of your own kind, or you're not trying to protect the judiciary. judiciary, but you are letting this Pandora's box wide open. You can't control perceptions of the people beyond a one point of time. And perceptions determine politics, they determine voting, they determine governments come and go. It's all determined on perception. And perception at times might not have anything to do with the reality. When you are doing a crisis management, when you are doing the reality management, you have to also look at the perception management, which becomes equally important. And what the people on this panel are raising a pertinent question, why it takes 7-8 days to come out? And if it is you and me, will we have the same treatment? So whatever has happened is now bygones. Now let's get into accelerated mode. Let's set the clock right. Let's set the things right and make sure this never ever happens again, because I am just bothered about one thing, ma'am. There are a lot of cases of corruption which happen in this country. 15 crore is not a big amount. We have seen billion-dollar corruption cases. But here it is the trust, it is the belief, it is the bharosa of 140 crore लोगों का भरोसा है यहाँ पे. That should not be shaken at any cost, because if that is shaken, trust me, we are looking at a debacle. We are looking at a debacle beyond our comprehensible imagination. It's beyond imagination, the debacle we are looking. So my request to all the people who are concerned, even the Chief CG of India and all the people who are at the helm of affairs, is, sir, look beyond it. Look from the perspective of what are 140 crore, 1.4 billion people are, what are they looking at? Not only that, what is the international community looking at us? What are the G7 countries? What are the G20 countries? What is the America, Russia, China? What are all these countries looking at it? I don't want even a speck of doubt to come on our judicial system, which by so far is one of the best in the world. And there are a lot of people who swear by it and who really say, no, in India the judiciary works, and it is, maybe it's slow and all, but it's able to deliver. We have seen some groundbreaking judgments, historical judgments. So we have to live to the repute and order of the day, and let's not cave in, whatever the reasons may be. Let's not try to be a little bit, handling two things with much of care. If something has happened, the person has done it or not done it, take it in the normal process and give a judgment as soon as possible. If you have to acquit the person, kuch nahi kiya, okay. If the person has to be punished, it has to happen in the next 45 days, 2 months, so that you live to your stature on your honor, which you rightfully deserve. That's my limited point on it.
All right. Thank you so much for both of you for joining the telecast and sharing those insights. Meanwhile, viewers, that's a wrap for the bulletin. We'll slip into a short break.